Okay, so find the derivative of y equals x to the fourth times e to the x squared. Again, this is a product rule. So y prime is going to be f prime g plus g prime f. So our f is x to the fourth. Our g is e to the x squared. Our f prime is 4x cubed, right? That's just plain power rule. Our g prime is copy paste times the derivative of the exponent, right? That's it. So I'm going to rearrange it where it's 2x times e to the x squared though. That's it. It's just prettier for my brain. That's just kind of how we do it. Now we just put the pieces together. So y prime is equal to 4x cubed times e to the x squared plus 2x e to the x squared times x to the fourth. Again, notice that both terms have an e to the x squared, so we're just going to pull that out for practice. And that's for later. 4x cubed plus 2x e to 2x times x to the fourth is actually 2x to the fifth, right? X times x. And then, okay, so they both have a 2 in common. So we can pull out a 2 e to the x squared. So that's 2x cubed plus x to the fifth. Now look, they both have an x cubed in common. So I'm going to pull that out too. So 2x cubed times e to the x squared. Now I pull, this 2 stays here, and there are still 2 x's left over. There we go. Ooh, it's so pretty. So now this is something we definitely later on would set to 0 and solve. We'd set this to 0, solve, set this to 0, solve, set this to 0, solve. It's actually super easy. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but just know this is in, the works for you later on. But that's it. Yay, go us. Y'all doing so good. I hope. Maybe you have a million questions, but I don't know it. Okay, find the derivative of f of x equals e to the x divided by e to the x plus e to the 2x. This is a quotient rule. So quotient rule says that it's going to be f prime g minus g prime f all over g squared. So we need those pieces. So f is the numerator, of course, so that's e to the x. G is that big denominator, so 2e to the x plus e to the 2x. So f prime, super easy, right? E to the x is its own derivative, super cool, it's my fave. It's my favorite, let me get rid of that. All right, g prime. Remember, just step by step. So 2 is a coefficient. What do coefficients do? They just hang out, they chill, they're along for the ride. So that is 2 times the derivative of e to the x, which we established is itself super awesome, super nice, times the derivative of e to the 2x. So this is a copy paste job times the derivative of the exponent, right? Times the derivative of the exponent, because it's not just plain x, it's 2x. So now we have a derivative of 2. I'm going to rewrite this as 2e to the x plus 2e to the 2x. If you want to pull out that 2, go crazy. You don't really have to at this point. Well, let's just do it. Let's go crazy. Let's be crazy. All right, there we go. So that's g prime. We pulled out the 2 because we could. Now we're just going to put the pieces together. All right, so f prime is e to the x, right? Putting all the pieces together, times g. 2e to the x plus e to the 2x minus g prime, which is 2 e to the x times e to the x plus e to the 2x times regular old f, which is e to the x all over g squared, that is 2 e to the x plus e to the 2x, and then all that quantity squared. There you go. Ooh, how pretty. I won't force you to do it now, but there is an e to the x, e to the x. Oh, you can't see. Sorry, my bad. There's an e to the x, e to the x here, so you could pull it in front if you wanted to. Again, I won't force it to you, but just notice eventually we are going to simplify this a little further. Okay, now this is just crazy one. This is just for fun, for funsies. Okay, this is the derivative of e raised to the e to the x squared plus 1. So y prime, if we're calling this y, let's call it y prime is equal to, copy paste job, e to the e to the e to the x squared plus 1. Now remember, it's times the derivative of all this stuff. So the derivative of e is itself, so e copy paste, x squared plus 1. Now, again, now we're just taking the derivative of its power, that's e to the x squared plus 1 times 2x. Right, there's 1, 2, 3 powers, so there's 1, 2, 3 chains. So just, I mean, some silly craziness for you. Kind of fun. And but it's actually the last page. We're not going to do this one. Okay, we're not doing page 20. Okay, last page. Suppose that the population of dementors is given by P of t equaling 15 e to the 2x squared, where t is time in years. Find and interpret the derivative at t equaling 2. Okay. So remember, 15 is a coefficient. It's going to hang out, it's along for the ride. So p prime of t is 15. Remember, the derivative of e is itself. So e times 2x squared. Now times the derivative of its power. Times the derivative of its power. Sorry, move my hand out of the way. So that is 4x. Now we can say 15 times 4, that is 60. Always think of a clock, right? Every 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes is 60 minutes. I don't know, that's just how my brain works. Do you if you want. So 2x squared. So the x I just popped up in front, so 60x times e to the 2x squared. So that is our derivative. Now it says find at t equaling 2. That's just p prime of 2. I'm just going to pop in 2 appropriately. Oops, that my hand and brain need to coincide. So 60 times 2 is 120. 2 squared is 4 times 2 is 8. So it's just 120 e to the 8. I just happen to have this calculator, so sorry. You're not allowed this calculator on the second test. So sorry, but this is just what I have at home. So 120 e to the 8. Where's my button? And we're going to press enter. Oh, goodness. So this is 357,714 90.96. Wow, that's a lot of Dementors. So this says that what? Oh gosh, I wish, gee, this is why videos are not as fun. I wish you were in class so you could tell me. So P of 2, P prime of 2, pardon me, is 357,714.96. We'll round up, say that's approximately 357,715 Dementors. Can't have 0.96 Dementor. Okay, so this says the rate, right? Because that's what a derivative is. It's the rate of Dementors is increasing because it's a positive number at 357,715 per year. So the rate of Dementors is increasing at 357,715 per year. That's what it means. a lot of Dementors. Okay, last one. Suppose the amount of water in a tank is given by V of t equaling log base 4 of x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x plus 10, where t is time in hours. Find and interpret the derivative at t equaling 1. So once we find it, it's going to be at 1 hour in, we are either increasing or decreasing by this amount. Volume. Oh, I need to put in units. I don't know if it's liters, gallons, who knows? But okay, we'll get there. So find and interpret the derivative. So that means just find v prime of t. Remember, I have log base a of g to the x. So the derivative, so d dx of this is 1 over g of x times the natural log of a, and then times, so in the numerator, pop it up there, also for room, g prime of x. So this is 1 over the natural log of 4 times the argument of the log, that's x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x plus 10, all that in the denominator, times the derivative of the argument. Let's see if I can squeeze it in here. So 3x squared plus 4x minus 4, right? Because 10 is a constant. And remember, the derivative of a constant is 0. So I'm going to rewrite this so that it's pretty. So it's 3x squared plus 4x minus 4 all over the natural log of 4 times x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x plus 10. Okay, yeah, there you go. So now we need at 1. I'm going to change colors for visual effect. So v prime at 1, so 1 hour in, 3 times 1 quantity squared plus 4 times 1 minus 4 all over the natural log of 4 times 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 10, all there in the denominator. Ooh, let's see if I can mental math. I usually need y'all's help to find my crazy mistakes. We'll see if I can do it on my own. Okay, so that is 3 plus 4 minus 4. That's going to go to 0. So that's 3 over the natural log of 4 is not going anywhere. That's 1 plus 2 is 3. 3. Yeah, sorry, just making sure. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Plus 10 is what? 9. Okay, so then the 3 and the 9 reduce to 1/3. So this is just 1 over 3 natural log of 4. If I grab my handy dandy, clear that out. 1 divided by 3 natural log of 4 equals approximately 0.24. So what does v prime of 1 mean? Means that the tank of water is increasing at 0.24 units per hour. Not sure if it's gallons, liters, that, who knows? But that's what it is. Okay. So that's the derivative homework, or excuse me, the derivative notes. Yay! You do have notes on Canvas this time. I absolutely hated every single question that WebAssign gave you or gave me to choose to assign to you. I hated all of them. Well, actually, there might have been one that I liked, but anyways. So I did other ones that I liked way, way better. So your homework is not on WebAssign this time. It is just strictly on Canvas. Okay. You should see them posted in the homework section though, in your modules, I think it is. If you have a hard time finding it, please let me know. But that is it for the notes. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Email me if you have questions. Uh, come see me in office hours on Wednesday. My email is ld1168k at txstate.edu. So email me if you have questions. Come see me during office hours, all that fun stuff. But doodles, I will see you later. I'll see you in class as soon as I can finish the recording. Oh, nope, sorry. Let's try again. Here we go.